What's up, podcast fans? It's your buddy Adam, the PhD, the previously heavy dude, and this is a very special episode of the Million Pound Mission podcast. Now, you're going to get to listen in as I do a one-on-one coaching session with one of my clients for my Transformation ReBoot program. We're going to dig deep into their top transformation danger zones and come up with actionable steps they can implement right away. And you need to listen in and you can implement those same steps to get better results for yourself. Now, be sure to hang out after the episode to learn how you can do a free 10-day trial inside of my Transformation ReBoot program. All right, let's dive into the coaching session. All right, Jacqueline, welcome to your hot seat session. What would you like to focus on here today?
I think one of the things that I would like to kind of focus on is just managing, I've been trying to do the intermittent fasting, but because of my sleeping schedule, like that's inconsistent. So it's been really challenging.
Yeah. So, okay, so is it like your work schedule, sleep schedule, or is it just not sleeping well that's throwing things off?
No, it's mainly, so I usually start my day at like 3:30, somewhere between 3:30 and 4, sometimes 3. Somewhere between 3 and 4 in the morning.
Okay.
And so it makes it challenging to, if I'm not supposed to eat until like 10, that's a long time. But then, I guess I probably don't sleep enough at night.
Yeah.
But I'm not tired. And, that's just kind of the way things are set up right now.
Okay. So, what window are you shooting for your food?
So I've been having a really hard time, like nailing down like the perfect time. Cause I tried 10 and I was like, well, 10 is way too late. But then I tried 8, and then, I do, I take most of my like workouts and stuff in the evening. And so then I'm like dead if I stop eating at, like 3.
Right.
Or, so I just didn't know. I didn't know if you had any like advice or tips on how to get that to a better, it's just consistency. Is that the only way?
We can definitely work with this. So are you, as far as your eating window, are you using like an 8-hour or a 10-hour total window? What are you doing?
Usually 8.
Okay, cool. So first thing is it doesn't necessarily have to be the exact same each day. Like I'd like to eventually find that groove. But if we're just kind of a little bit inconsistent, we can kind of take that pressure off and say, okay, when I start eating, then I'm going to go for 8 hours. So if you're hungry, eat early, start your window earlier. If you aren't hungry, push it back. And let's kind of see if we can find a sweet spot. Like take maybe 2 to 4 weeks just to kind of experiment with that and say, let's just see where we're at. Because it's not going to like ruin the intermittent fast necessarily. Like you're going to eventually get into a groove. But you also may consider doing a 10-hour window to start. And just kind of see if that you'll still get benefit from that. Everybody that I've interviewed that are like intermittent fasting experts, they say even like a 12 is like, which is what a lot of people do that still eat 5 times a day. So I would start maybe with the 10-hour and use that buffer of, okay, whenever I start eating, then I'll have a 10-hour window. I don't have to eat that whole 10 hours. I can narrow it down to 8 if I need to. And some days you'll do that, some days you won't. But then the next check mark we want to have is going to find a consistent time that tends to work more often than not. So step 1 is just eat with a 10-hour block once you start eating. And then step 2 is let's find a consistent 10-hour block or 8 hour, and then we can start shimming it back to 9 hours, 8 hours, and find one that really works for the lifestyle. Now with sleep, something that'll help with sleep that I learned from my friend Alexa Sherm is she says to give yourself, at least a couple of hours from last meal, so when you close your eating window, until you go to sleep. And that'll help you actually sleep better. So it'll kick your body over into that like rest and digest, and let's just let your body chill. And that way We have really optimized the potential for hormone production, things like that while we sleep instead of digesting a whole bunch. So those would be kind of the three things I would play with is just establishing an 8 to 10 hour window. Once you start eating, then go for a consistent 8 to 10 hour window, and then make sure we have a couple hours between you close the window and when you go to bed. And then we'll get in our flow there. And hopefully that helps you sleep a little bit better too. You get better quality sleep at least. So,
right. I mean, one of the problems that it's just like the logistics of all of it, because where I live is an hour away from everything else. So it's just a matter of, like, okay, well, if I'm not going to the gym until 7:30, which is just, I mean, it takes me almost an hour to get there and then an hour to get back. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Timing seems to be my biggest issue in general. So I don't know, trying to just manage that a little bit better. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people probably struggle with.
Yep. Yeah.
Just,
yeah. I think like, so you have, as far as like, I got an hour there, an hour back, and then I got to figure out food situations after that. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Well, it's just, I mean, as far as like, well, no, because usually I just take all my food with me and, in the morning, because that's the only way that I could manage it. But as far as, like my sleep schedule, that impacts it a lot, because it's like, if I'm trying to be somewhere, to start working, because I live so far out that I can't start until I'm a little closer in.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a 45-minute drive, and then I've got a 45-minute drive back. So it's like, that's just,
yeah, so you're having to get up a lot earlier than what you normally would, just because of drive time, basically.
Right. Correct.
Yeah. That makes sense. And then, so that seems like, okay, that may be just a reality that we have to deal with. So to improve our sleep, or to improve our amount of sleep, we have to get it at the front end of going to bed earlier. So that's something where, kind of having that soft landing time of a half hour to 45 minutes at the end of the day, where you can throttle down, no screen time. You read a real book or something like that, or you put on your blue light blocker glasses or something. You want to minimize the light exposure and just start to ramp down. And that way, if you can there's a really good book by Sean Stevenson called Sleep Smarter that's really, really good. But he talks about, if you can be asleep at least between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., those are the prime times for like our circadian rhythm, our hormonal, processes that need to be optimized. So we're going to make sure, he said it's almost worth like double what you get outside of that window. So I would set that as a priority, like try to get to bed by 10 p.m. Make sure I sleep until at least 2 a.m. And then, hopefully you can get past that a little bit. Maybe you can sleep in until 3 a.m.
Isn't that ridiculous when 3 a.m. is considered sleeping in?
Sleeping in. And then, also be realistic with your gym travel days. Like, you don't need to go and hit that every single day. Maybe you go 2 to 3 times a week and really make it count. And then you do some home-based stuff or some mobility, or you just, get outside on the other days. So that's, something to consider as well, that you hopefully, how many days are you doing that trip?
Oh, I do that trip every single day.
Okay.
Because of how far I live. It's like, so one thing I've been doing is looking at switching gyms, just for, logistical purposes.
Right.
So I actually just found a new place to take workout classes, so that then I'll only be going to the gym for my like outside of because I still prefer to take classes. So I'll, but I still need my hours outside of classes. So then, I'll only be doing that like, 2 or 3 times a week, instead of, I've got class and then gym and then class and then gym at the same place.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. I would pursue that and see what happens. And again, like, you don't have to do every single day of the week either. You can give yourself a break. It sounds like sleep wise, like, making sure you get a day to really recalibrate with your sleep, that might help more than doing 7 workouts a week. You know what I'm saying? Because that recovery time is super important. Like, I only work out 3 to 4 days a week myself. So it's, it's not mandatory. I know you've been in the major volume.
I just get my tunnel vision.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I had,
That's part of why you're in the group, though, is it allows me to kind of be like, all right, let's make sure we aren't going over the top too much. But I would challenge you to I think that'd be a nice challenge for this next 28-day cycle is give yourself one rest day per week where you don't do a workout. You can still stretch, you can still foam roll, you can do body care, body maintenance, mobility. You can do one of the mobility videos that's uploaded in the course. But I think that your body would appreciate that because you just don't want to just go more, train. So you'll overtrain and your body will go into that fight or flight mode that we don't want, where it actually you'll store body fat and you'll potentially get injured. So I would definitely book in a recovery day. And I know that it may not be what you want to do, but sometimes you got to take your medicine a little bit. So
yeah, no. I mean, and I know that, that was one of the things that I had told you in the beginning. It's that, like that tunnel vision that I tend to get, that I want to not be, I want to be focused, but not in a unhealthy or unproductive way.
Right.
So,
yeah, I love your tunnel vision, by the way. Like I know when Jacqueline gets on it, she is on it. So, but again, as a coach, I'm here to make sure that we kind of harness that in the best possible way. So, I love where you're at. I love it. And you're plugged in and your mindset's good. But
yeah, it was pretty exciting. I had my first weigh-in yesterday and they have a nice machine that does your body fat, does all of it. So I was like, yes, it was a good.
So you felt momentum. That's awesome. I mean, just I know you've had some hard times lately and
right.
Like just reclaiming that ability to feel like you're back in control. That's big and you've got it. So that's pretty cool.
The other thing, do I still have time?
Yeah.
The other thing, sorry, I just looked so soon. The other thing, because they do give you like a whole like electronic printout of everything. So one thing that I was looking at is, which I thought was weird, that my muscle mass went down. I mean, so did my body fat. But I mean, is that something that I should worry about?
No.
Or at this point, don't worry about it.
Yeah. If it's like a BIA scan or something like that, was it like your feet on a thing or were you holding on to?
Both.
Okay.
Both.
So yeah, with those, the muscle and water and everything will get kind of wonky. So we used to have one. I sent it back because everybody was freaking out. It's like my muscle went down, my fat went up and I lost weight. So yeah, it depends on like your hydration levels. Even if you have something on your skin, it can throw that off a little bit. So I wouldn't stress about that. I would just look at the overall situation and not worry about the BIA metrics quite so much.
Yeah. Well, I was just curious because I was like, oh my God, why? How?
Yeah. No, you're doing all the right stuff. Yeah. You're doing,
right.
you're putting in the work. So no, that's good. Jacqueline, I'm proud of you, girl. You got momentum. I'm very
super
excited.
pumped.
Good. All right. Well, if you need anything, just reach out in the group. You're doing all the right stuff. You just keep plugging away. All right.
All right. Thanks, Adam. Have a good day.
Yep. We'll see you. Hey, thanks for hanging out for a minute after the episode. I hope you got a ton of value out of that coaching session. Now, if you are ready to reclaim control over your health and be a part of an amazing community and support system, I want you to head on over to millionpoundmission.com and start your free 10-day trial inside of my Transformation ReBoot program. Now, as part of this program, you get to do monthly one-on-one strategy sessions with me, just like you heard here today. We also do weekly small group support sessions, monthly deep dive discussions, and the daily interaction and support you'll get inside of our community page is unlike anything you have ever experienced in your fitness journey. Now, I know that you're probably somebody that is willing to put in the effort to reach your transformation goals. And if you allow me to add some structure, accountability, and support around that effort, you'll be able to gain amazing momentum and feel unstoppable. So head on over to millionpoundmission.com and start your risk-free 10-day free trial of the Transformation ReBoot program. My friend, I will look forward to doing your welcome video chat session soon.